And if you're gonna do a little baking, I'm very excited because I'm gonna show you how to make my chocolate peanut butter lava cakes. Now, yeah, I'm really pumped about this, but fair warning with this recipe. They're very easy to make, but every single person you feed them to is gonna fall in love with you. So just watch out. Your phone's gonna be blowing up. It's gonna be out of control. We're gonna get started though. This is a really, really tasty recipe. They're super comforting. Basically, you're kind of under baking a cake. So even if you're not good at baking, I'm pretty sure you can do this one. It's gonna be great. So the first thing we need to do is actually prep the little pans that we're baking these cakes in. So for that, I wanna use ramekins. So I've got 2 little ramekins here. This recipe makes enough for 4. So if you're feeling the need to share, maybe you're having like a double date Valentine's Day thing, feel free to do all 4. I'm gonna do 2 today because, you know, it's what I feel like doing, so we're good to go. Now, I have got a ½ cup of butter here melted just over low heat. You want it to be nice and hot, though. The first thing I need to do, though, is get a little bit of a pastry brush and just brush the insides of my ramekins with a little bit of that butter. That's gonna help these cakes release. Now, for a little bit of extra insurance, fun fact, I used to work in insurance. I used to be an expert, not anymore. Yeah, do we have any insurance brokers in the audience? What? Oh, we do, nice. Thank you for your service. I love it so much. All right, so I have got that butter in there, but now I'm gonna add in a little bit of cocoa powder too. So similar to if you're making a cake, sometimes you'll like flour the cake pan. We're gonna use cocoa powder to do that because that's gonna help these cakes release a little. It's also gonna add extra chocolatey flavor. So I'm gonna go into each of these ramekins with just a teaspoon of cocoa powder. Just add that right on in. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna tap that cocoa powder around. So just pick up the ramekin and just kind of like on your hand, tap it around just so it coats. It's gonna stick to the butter and get absolutely beautiful. Try to get as much coated as possible. If there's any extra in the bottom, that's fine. You can just tap it back out. No, don't do what I'm doing. Don't put it back in the cocoa thing, but you know, whatever, it's all good. All right, so tap that all around. Again, this is gonna give a little bit of a release for these, so that's gonna be perfect. Perfect. Now that's looking good to me. So now we're gonna move on to the secondary portion of chocolate in these chocolate lava cakes. So I've got the rest of that ½ cup of butter that's nice and hot, and I have 100 grams of chopped dark chocolate here. Basically 100 grams is like one of those chocolate bars you buy, and it's dark chocolate, so you're pretending that you're doing it for the antioxidants. We have all been there. I'm gonna add that butter right into that chocolate. Just pour that hot butter right on top. And what you wanna do, don't give this a stir yet. Set this aside. Let it do its thing. That heat is gonna slowly melt that chocolate, and you're just gonna bring everything together. This is kind of similar to making like the ultra-rich ganache. Typically with a ganache, you use cream. We're using butter, because what's wrong with that? But now we wanna work on the portion of this cake batter that actually helps hold this together. Like the majority of this cake, weirdly, is eggs. The first thing we need for a little bit of sweetness, though, is ½ cup of sugar. So just plain white sugar goes right on into a bowl. And then this cake uses 2 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks. The egg yolks give you really nice density and flavor. The egg whites, those couple egg whites, just help lift everything up. So I'm gonna go in with 2 whole eggs right on into that sugar mixture. And then you wanna divide in the yolks. So we are going to grab our eggs, grab a little bowl. Don't throw out those egg whites. You can pop them into your tomorrow's, whoops. Don't worry, I got it. She got it. Nicely done, Mary Berg. You can pop those into your like tomorrow's scramble, something like that. If you're feeling extra fancy, you could do a meringue. I'm not gonna do that though. Tomorrow's scramble it is. Get that nice and divided. So again, 2 eggs, 2 egg yolks for that richness. I'm having a real rough time with this. Listen, if you have a rough time too, I really like it when things go wrong on the show, because it shows you life. She's tricky, ups and downs. All right, going right on in with that other egg yolk. And what I wanna do now is I actually wanna beat this up really, really well. So you could do this by hand if you're feeling strong. I'm gonna use a hand mixer because you actually wanna beat this on about high for, I would say, 2 minutes. You're looking for this almost to have the consistency of like a thin mayonnaise. It's gonna get light and fluffy. So right now, this would taste like really weird scrambled eggs, but immediately you can see it's kind of getting a little bit of volume. So just beat that on high. The color's starting to change. It's getting a little bit lighter. So if you can hear me over the racket of this hand mixer, I'm gonna talk to you about how much I love a lava cake. Now, when I was a kid, we always went, my mom and I always went out for dinner together. I joke that I was like first date with my mom, you know? But I've always loved a lava cake. We'd always go to this one restaurant. I would always get the quesadillas off the kids' menu, even though I was well after being of the age demo that you could get that. And then I'd always get a lava cake with it. Now, back then, the lava cakes actually were not that undercooked cake. It was usually just like a little bundt cake with melted chocolate chips in the middle. Still delicious, nothing wrong with that. But I love that little hack for getting all that lava-y, gooey goodness, just in case you do actually overcook your cake. Okay, we're gonna look at this again. Do you see how much lighter and fluffier and ribbony this is? As you move your mixers, you get that little kind of ribboniness following them around. Looking absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna do this for another 20 seconds, maybe, don't worry. I'll stand my microphone further away from it so you can hear me better. But I absolutely love, honestly, I love a lava cake. It reminds me of being a kid. It reminds me of hanging out with my mom. And it's a great way to share. Like, they're super fun to share. Yeah, you can make your own and each have your own if you're feeling a little selfish, but sharing's always good. All right, now this is looking great to me. You're looking for this, like, see that, like, drizzly when you pick it up? You can see the little lines left on the eggs right on the top. That's kind of what you're looking for. That's got a lot of air in there, so it's gonna give a little bit of lift into these, because lava cakes are kind of sort of like a chocolate souffle. So into here, so we don't bust up all those bubbles that we just worked so hard to build, I'm gonna sift over 3/4 of a cup of flour. Just classic old all-purpose flour. And I'm not sifting to bust up any of those little balls of flour. What I'm doing is I'm actually just lightening it, making it so it's less heavy, and it's gonna mix in better with this beautiful light egg and sugar mixture. So 3/4 of a cup goes right on in. I'm also gonna go in with a little bit of salt. I always use kosher salt because that's pretty much what I have on hand. So I'm just gonna add that into the egg mixture because it won't go through the sieve. And just sift that right over top. This is gonna give you a light, beautiful cake that also has like the denseness that you're looking for. So just run that through the sieve. Then grab your handy dandy spatula and we are going to fold. Now folding is essentially taking something that's underneath something and folding it over top. It's how you incorporate something that's heavy and light kind of together. So just grab your spatula, cut down the center and just bring it over top. Now just keep kind of running your way around the bowl, just folding until most of that flour is mixed right into there. So I'm doing this a little vigorously because, you know, we only got so much time here on the good stuff. But you want to do this slowly. Put on some jazz. If you like, I like jazz. I realize not everybody does. Personally, this might get me some enemies, but the only jazz I can't, don't put on Miles Davis. That is gonna make you stir real weird. So that's not what you want. But give that a nice stir just until it's almost all incorporated, and then we're gonna go in with that chocolate. So remember that chocolate we have over here? It's got that butter on top. You can still see hunks of chocolate in this bowl, but what I wanna do is grab a whisk and just give that a mix. So if you look from the top, you see all that chocolate, and then you just do this, and it's all perfectly melted. So beautiful and tasty. Oh my gosh, that looks fantastic. I'm very excited. This right now, what a dream. What a delight. I love me, so I'm feeling good about it. Feels like my chances are good for Valentine's Day. Now I'm gonna go in there with that chocolate. I've got some chunks still, but that's not bad. That's just gonna melt in. And then what you wanna do is kind of fold this chocolate in as well. Do this just until you can't really see too many streaks anymore, because again, you wanna keep that lightness in these eggs. So if you've noticed, this is all using stuff that you have hanging around your house probably. You've got some sugar, some eggs, a little bit of flour, and some chocolate, and that's pretty much all you need. So I've got that all folded in together. So now what I need to do is pop this into those ramekins that we prepared. So we've got all that butter, that cocoa in there. It's gonna be perfect. Now I'm gonna divide this in with just a little disher because that's gonna make things easier. But I promised you not chocolate lava cakes. I promised you chocolate peanut butter lava cakes. So for the peanut butter portion, this is kind of my hack to that little extra insurance to get that runny center. So once you get that batter into these little ramekins, you wanna put a little glob of peanut butter right in the center. So I'm talking this peanut butter. We're not talking the healthy stuff. We're talking the one that has the sugar in it. Really tasty, super delish. I'm making a mess, but that's okay. You want about a tablespoon of that peanut butter right in the center. Poke it down. That's gonna ensure you get that lava-y core. Now what you wanna do is pop those into a hot 400-degree oven. Lick the peanut butter off your finger first. Don't worry, we're all family here. Pop that in. And let that go for just 10 to 12 minutes. That is all you need to get the most delicious little lava cakes. Now, these have been sitting out for a minute, but what you wanna do, if you wanna be like a restaurant, you can either serve it in this ramekin as is, or you can get one. It's a little warm, but we got it. Pop that plate right on top, give it a flip, say a little prayer. Vanilla ice cream right on top. I'm using my peanut butter spoon, but are you ready for this? Let's see if we got the lava situation on the inside. Do you see little ooey? Look at that peanut butter! Oh, what a delight. All right, I'm gonna dig into this Valentine's Day for #1 right now. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.